Top of the evening to you folks. Hope everybody's doing fantastic out there. We are the Kingdom. This is a small town golf podcast with a little bit of everything mixed into it. Some business, some music, some Bitcoin even sometimes. And so grab a drink, whatever you're drinking, coffee, beer, whiskey, and let's get to our drums. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What is up? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Kingdom. As usual, my name is Drums, and I am, as always, joined by the brothers behind King Golf, Regan and Jordan Headley. As we always do, we're sending it up north. Tee off with Reg. How's it going, buddy?
Fellas, not too bad. Plugging away here. Had a curling bonspiel last weekend. Got another one this weekend. Probably be Jeff Stoughton in a couple months. Not a big deal.
What position?
No, there's nothing better than bonspiels, honestly, is there? Last weekend was so much fun, man. I just cranked paralyzers and gins and Caesars and beers, and it was like 3 days of just like
getting banged up
in the curling lounge. Like, it's just so fun.
Are they better than golf tournaments, would you say?
Oh yeah.
What? Would you?
Yeah.
But golf tournaments are in the summer though. Bonfires and shit.
I think for the reasoning, maybe the Tamarac's different because you play around and then get together, and then you play around and get together, and like you can watch people. That doesn't happen at any other golf tournaments, but it does happen at bonspiels. Like, you finish up a game and you go up top and get some popcorn and grab a drink and then sit and watch the next draw, like the people you kind of been hanging out with all weekend.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. And it's sick and often because everybody goes to Soupy's after. Like, it's just like it was fun. We had some great times. What you were doing. Weekend. Yeah.
Trying to get me to send you pictures of testicles.
Yeah, that's where I was telling a story about that. Nobody believed me, so I had to get photo evidence, and it came through.
You'll have to tell the story now after we talk.
Of your nudes?
Otherwise, people.
No, so there's this. When we were in Mexico, I think we might have talked about it on here before, but Mexico or Cuba, wherever we were down south, and every day, this old man and his wife walked to the beach, and they sat right. We made sure we sat beside him every day on the beach, and every day he'd walk down, and his one nut would hang down outside of his shorts, like 2 inches outside of his shorts, like basically right next to his knee every single day. What? And he'd just walk there and just like stand like with his ankles in the water. Like, it was the most insane thing ever, man. I don't even know if he ever swam, actually. He might have just stood there and let his nut hang out. Like, surely if he swam, he would be able to feel his nut was out of his shorts, right? Like, it was every day though. Like, the first day, we're like, that's insane. And then the second day, like, Jor has like, oh man, it's funny pictures, man.
Oh, you got creeper pics.
That was like you would have taken it out of the camera, hey?
Yep.
Yeah, so like that's before like you could take it on Snapchat. Like, this is on an actual camera.
It's before everybody carried their cell phones around.
So was he wearing like funny. A Speedo or like full shorts?
A bathing suit.
Like, how long were these balls? Wow.
I could find a picture. This won't do much for people listening, but
that's wild.
that might be a good way to get some people to watch the YouTube stuff. Although YouTube's been doing pretty well. I guess while we're talking about that, if you guys prefer to watch instead of listen, we have all the episodes now on YouTube. I don't know where I put it now, Rigo. Do you have
.com.
Yeah, it's all good though. I can't show it because I'm on my phone, but we'll maybe I don't know if we can post a picture on Twitter. Maybe we can.
Whatever. It's Twitter. It's Wild West. Do you remember when Twitter was the Wild West?
Yeah. Oh, I found it.
Back when it was fun. No. What? You have to feel that. What the fuck?
Like, his shorts aren't even that they're high, but I mean, like, that's low.
That's like boxer length.
That's a low hanging nut.
That's wild.
Where were we?
All right, we're heading it over to you. What's going on, buddy?
Okay, well, I got lots going on here, fellas. Show Drums the view of my. I might just put a little bar right here. Actually, it's kind of working out well. But so I had my Spence Bros pizza for supper as always. unofficial sponsor of the show, Spence Bros. And I got a couple beers. And actually tonight, we'll get to it in a bit, but I lost again this week with my pick. So instead of shotgunning a beer, I'm actually going to take a taste test of 2 new whiskeys. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned, as they would say in Rossburg.
You should have actually had to throw in a huge chew of Redman for the show because you picked Doc Redman.
I know. I haven't had a chew for probably 7 years though now, so that would be. I don't think we need to go down that road.
Probably
again.
Yeah, probably a good decision.
But other than that, no, lots going on, but also not lots going on. It's nice to see some sunshine today. Getting a little warmer, getting closer and closer to golf. We're in March now. Masters in like a month, and so I'm feeling good. And we're restrictions are lifting, masks are going away. I saw Beef was having a burn party at his house for masks, so I might go. Actually, we should burn masks, right? Because they're just everywhere. There's such a pollution to the world. I just see masks all over the road, and
well, burning's not going to help pollution.
Well, I mean, it won't get caught in birds' beaks and turtles.
Yeah, but then you're just
elephant butts.
You're just warming the earth more by having more fire.
Elephant butts.
We need it. We need the carbon. Drums.
Hi, buddy.
We need the carbon. What the?
We do. We need to stay warm, man.
I'm checking
it's cold.
Out. See you guys next week.
Drums. What's going on in your life, buddy?
Same old. Nothing really new on any front other than, like you said, we've got some good weather finally. World War III broke out while we were doing last episode. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, right. Forgot about that.
So yeah, that's kind of craziness going on more in the world. But here at home, like you said, things are lifting, things are looking up a bit. Headspace is a little better spot than it was probably 2 weeks ago with all the hope, I guess, with the way things are trending. So yeah, fingers crossed for a good long while. I don't have faith that this is going to last forever.
Hey, again, don't say that. Don't say that.
I have faith that it'll be a while.
I was thinking that too. And humans are psychic. So if you talk about that, you're going to manifest it. So instead, say we're never fucking doing this again. And that's the end of the story.
Well,
ever.
I'm never doing this again.
That's what I mean. But I mean, all it took was Putin to invade Ukraine and COVID disappeared. Anyways, on tonight's episode of the Kingdom.
We pay.
On tonight's episode of the Kingdom, we have a bit of golf stuff. We're going to talk about the tournament. I'm going to take a couple shots of whiskey here. We're going to talk about our coolest. I'm going to drop 2 F-bombs here in about a matter of a minute. So sorry, Mom. We're going to talk about the coolest motherfuckers on the planet. We each have three names we're going to discuss. And then we're going to do a question each. So when we first started the podcast, it's kind of what we did before we got into the swing of things and segments and stuff. So we're going to bring it back tonight. We're going to ask each other one question. We're going to discuss, and then we're going to get to our segments. We got the culture corner, we got the stroke saver, and we got 2 Pina Coladas. Which, by the way, I'm going to start chopping up if I have some time, and I'm going to start putting some of Rigo with stroke savers on YouTube, just so people don't have to watch a whole hour. They can just watch his segment there. So, and maybe some other stuff as well. But anyways, I had something important to say, but maybe it probably wasn't that important. Oh, we should probably talk about last week's conversation a little bit. It was probably, I would say, the most heated we've got on the Kingdom in a while. Would you guys agree or no?
I didn't listen to it. Like, did it sound bad? Like,
no, it didn't really. It didn't really sound bad. But we never really have any arguments on here. So I've seen some podcasts between buddies like this, and it was about a 2 compared to their 10s, and theirs are over like sports. I'm like, fuck, it's sports. Like, chill out. So, anyways, this was I guess ours was kind of about sports, but geopolitical stuff.
I've actually got a podcast I follow. Impractical Jokers.
Oh yeah.
So Sal from there, he has a podcast with this other comedian, and basically that's what the podcast is they each pick, like, topics come in from listeners, but they each pick a side to argue, and they just go at each other for an hour.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, but like at the start, they have this little chat, like, I love you, I love you. This doesn't mean anything. I love you, I love you. And then they just go ham at each other. It's hilarious.
Okay, well, has there been any updates on that yet with Saudi Arabia League or no?
Yeah, big one.
Greg Norman put out a hater.
Oh, I didn't see it. What did he say?
Oh,
He basically just motherfucked the PGA and what's the commissioner's name? Jay
Monahan.
Jay Monahan.
Yeah, and was like, I don't know, like he was basically, if you continue to threaten like guys never being able to play again on the PGA, then you'll find yourself in some pretty big legal trouble and all this shit.
In a big lawsuit.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he signed off from a Rossburn address and he said, "Stay tuned for more."
Okay, so quickly on that.
No, he came back hard though. Like he came back.
Well, he should. He should.
No, but like he went like what he should have said, and then went like, oh, it was wild. It was a wild letter.
Is that not good though? Like, am I alone here again, or like what is he supposed to do?
No, that's right. He's not just gonna put in all that time, like you said before, and then just have it just end. But I mean, it might be a last ditch effort. It might be a start to something else. I hope it's a last ditch effort and that shit just goes away. But
I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I don't mean like the continuation of the Saudis and stuff, but the PGL, like I do want to see that format. Like badly.
Man. Big time.
But again, I don't want to see it with kind of like scrubs.
Yeah,
like it will still be interesting, but I'd still rather it be like the top players, or at least people that are from the PGA Tour.
Yeah,
agreed. So another big news today was Tiger actually won the PIP challenge. And throughout that tweet, that was legendary. That was so uncharacteristic of Tiger to do something like that.
Well, you don't actually think that's him tweeting, right?
Well, I mean, he would
even
have
for him to okay it
for sure.
Like Phil's basically laying there in the middle of the ring, like knocked out cold, blood coming out of his ears. And Tiger jumps from the top rope and just finishes him off. Like,
no, that's a Rikishi stink face he gave him there. That's what he just
Scotty too hotty and Rikishi.
Yeah.
Two things: how convenient of timing for the PGA to do that,
right?
Okay. And two, but the other thing on the other side is like how painful it will be for the PGA to have to write Phil a check for $6 million right now.
Yeah, true.
I also seen something that it was only for North American engagement. So if Hideki would have been like, if he could have counted the Asian markets, he would have got like middle of the pack. So he didn't get anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what's
overall
are they trying to grow the game in the States? Yeah, that's the dumbest thing. Yeah, we talked about that in here before. It's just stupid. It's, I don't know. It's not good.
Like
but
you gave the two richest guys on tour
more money,
$14 million.
Yeah.
But
I do think that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go.
There does have to be a way, I guess, for
other people
a person to get money for showing up to a tournament, because like Cockrell said when he was on here, if he shows up to the same tournament as Rory and he finishes higher up than him, like he gets more money.
Yeah.
No. Cockrell gets more money. Whereas Rory brought all the fans there and determine all the money.
Right, gotcha.
So there has to be a way to value those guys. And I know that they do get appearance fees, but if there's a way that, like, say that, and I know this might not be possible and it might be a really dumb idea, but if you went to a golf tournament, and when you walked in the front door or when you purchased your tickets or something like that, if they said, which player are you here to see? Which player brought you here? You know, and then however many people say Tiger, just for example, if 50% of them say that, set aside like 5% of the tournament earnings and split that up like that. I'm not saying that has to be the way, but per tournament.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's super
for sure.
Simple to do.
There has to be better ways than just like Phil or Tiger sending out a video of his swing, and that wins me $8 million. I mean,
well, even if like there was the fans voted after the tournament of who like the most valuable player or was, whatever you want to call it, if there was like a fan vote. So like from Phoenix, like if Harry Higgs, obviously he didn't finish high up, but he might have got some coin for just his
boosting their ratings.
Like boosted their ratings like crazy. Like they're gonna get.
Didn't he get fined?
Yeah, then he gets fined. That's fucking outrageous.
Harry,
PGA goes ham tweeting that out everywhere, and then he gets fined.
Yeah.
Okay. But
maybe Phil had a point.
Yeah, and for me, it's like I actually think that doing something like investing more money in your production team, like they've done recently, like they joined with the Euro Tour one or the DP World Tour now. I think that's a way better investment than giving it to the players. They could work something else in with the players, but in terms of like growing the game and engagement stuff, you need to have high quality production. You need to have the right people who are posting that stuff because it makes a huge difference.
Save that money for Sundays of tournaments so you don't have to have a commercial every 4 shots to make money. Like, that's so frustrating in golf, man. Like, watching golf live is probably the most frustrating thing in the world. And then they do the playing through, and like you can see the little wee picture in the corner and no sound. Okay, yeah, super interesting. Like, what are you doing here? Why do they
also the time between footage and Golf Channel and then CBS is like there's an hour delay, like so nobody watched it for an hour. Like, what are we doing?
It's and then they got to do a catch up for the next half hour of what we missed for the past hour. Yeah, it's a mess.
It's just
that's why the Masters is the best because they don't have commercials, right?
So chuck money into that. Don't give it another. You think Tiger needs $8 million? Like, come on.
Exactly.
I mean, he's not going to say
whoever
no,
thought of that idea should be fired for sure. Bare minimum.
Yeah.
Fired plus.
I mean, use it to promote like your up and coming or your like future people that are going to have to carry the league when these other two are gone. Phil's gone now. Phil's gone.
Yeah.
Or is he? Pay him $6 million though.
Yeah.
Or is he gone?
Yeah.
Jay's gonna hate signing that check.
Tough one, Jay. Okay. So
any other housekeeping?
Well, I guess just a few things. All three of us were pretty damn happy to see the Hamburger blow the lead on Sunday. None of us like him. We've made that pretty clear on the podcast. Apparently his putting was atrocious. I didn't watch any of it, but apparently it was kind of pathetic to watch.
Like short putts or just like
I think short putts
or blowing them by or something.
I think he missed a couple really short ones maybe. I don't know that. Don't quote me on that, but Sepp Straka, the Austrian, wins. Pretty sweet. I think he might have been the first Austrian ever to win. Seppy. I don't know. Did you guys watch any of it? Probably not. Hey,
no, I honestly didn't.
I didn't either. I was too busy finishing second last in the Bonspiel and hammering 90 drinks on the weekend. But
what position are you?
Oh, I'm actually throwing the skip rocks this weekend in the men's, but I was supposed to be third last weekend, and I got on the ice, and I hadn't curled for like 3 years, so I was like, man, I don't know if I should do this or not. So I ended up switching to second, and I kind of regret doing that. But James is calling it
so deadly.
Oh yeah,
so deadly. No, I tried watching it, but like the TV that I have on my computer, it doesn't have that channel. Like all the ones that the golf is on, it's not on there. So I can't watch any unless like for bigger tournaments they put it on a different channel, like in different regions. Like it was like CBS Seattle or something. That's what it was on, and I didn't have that channel, so I can't watch any of these shitty tournaments.
I think they're on NBC, but
I literally searched for like half an hour trying to figure out what was going on. But anyways, I could watch it on the Golf Channel. That's why I knew that it disappeared. But
the boys should almost pitch in to get
PGA
whatever that
Live.
is, PGA Live or PGA Tour Live. Cockrell had a bit of a rough weekend. He was actually sitting pretty good after the first 2 days, but had a bit of a rough weekend. I think he ended up finishing. Do you guys know exactly?
I don't.
It was like
anymore. 46
maybe. But anyways, he's back on the big tour this weekend. The DP World Tour, so that's a bonus.
He's
He
DP.
played the last couple weeks on the Challenge Tour, so he's in Kenya playing on the big tour. Like, what a life! I
Kenya.
don't know. It's
How
unbelievable.
good is the name DP World Tour?
Yeah,
It kind of reminds me of like the Red Shoe Dyers that we were talking about last week.
yeah.
A lot of
I was
DP on
thinking
that.
that too. Yeah, a lot of DP on there. Was there though?
No,
No, zero.
you
You're
couldn't.
just like
there was
kissing
no,
the whole time.
Yeah, there was no penis.
Oh, how far we've come as a world, eh?
Yeah,
It's
no
actually
kidding.
crazy, but anyways,
one
song for another
one
time.
last thing, just for housekeeping for me. Totally irrelevant to the podcast, but I've been watching the New York Rangers a lot lately, just for whatever reason. That Shesterkin, man, like
Whoa.
is
Whoa.
like he is the real deal. Like he is. It's like history happening like before our eyes right now. Like he's got like a 943 save percentage this year. Like what?
It was like Hank walked out and Hank walked right back in the door. Like that's how
Good
good this
timing,
kid is.
no kidding.
It's
Aren't they
kinda,
pretty good? Don't they have a good team too?
Yeah, they
Well,
do.
like he makes up for a lot of it. Like they'd be a
Right.
solid team, but holy shit.
But they got some good players.
Like he's MVP talks.
Oh yeah, definitely. He
What
probably
about
is
the
the
other
MVP.
New York team.
Rip, you got his first.
There we
He'll
go.
be on the show next week. Good to have him back. It's shitty that we have to treat him like that he can't come on until
Well, it's supposed to be motivation, but
scores.
I don't know how
Yeah, we got to
motivating it is.
incentivize them.
oh man, you guys Toronto was minus 440 tonight in betting.
You're getting smoked.
Buffalo beat them 5-1. You would have on $20, you would have made like $140 or $130 tonight.
5-1. Jesus.
Good game.
I watched
Good game, Leafs.
I watched the Jets game for the first time this year, probably last night.
Last night?
Yeah.
Didn't they hang up 7
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or 8?
Montreal looked decent for a while, for most of it that I watched, and then yeah, they just kind of took over. That goalie's pretty shitty for Montreal.
Montembeault.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
We're
carry
all over
on
the
here,
map here.
fellas. We got shit
Yeah.
to talk about.
That's
here.
housekeeping, though. That's housekeeping.
Cleaned her up, bud. That a boy.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's good.
What we got?
So,
Bring it.
no, we got the. Okay, we got the Arnold Palmer this weekend. So, let's make our picks. As mentioned, instead of shotgunning a beer this week, because I did one last week, and the fans don't want to see that 2 times in a row, I'm gonna do 2 shots of whiskey instead. So, if you guys thought last week was wild, buckle up, bitches.
I want to be honest. I think 1 might be enough.
I'm
We don't
doing a
need to
taste
lose you
test.
here.
2.
We don't need to lose you here.
So
I
I
recommend
picked
3.
Doc Redmond, and he did not have a good weekend. What a week for Doc to do that to me. But anyways, I'm actually kind of looking forward to these whiskeys. So
We'll get at it.
it'll be a good precursor for Friday because I'm drinking whiskey on Friday with the boys. So
Oh boy.
go ahead, drums.
What?
Oh, I thought you were talking. Okay, so I'll pick first because I finished last again. I'm gonna go. So we talked about the coolest mother effers. I'm only gonna say it once. Coolest mother effers. And my runner up, because I thought we were only doing alive people, but mine was Henrik Stenson. So that's who I'm gonna go with for my pick this week because he should get some of my cred. So Henrik Stenson, and he's probably playing with a bit of a chip on his shoulder after his Saudi stuff there. So
Yeah.
go with that.
Love it.
Who's second out of you? Probably drums, eh? No, Rigo.
You go ahead, drums.
Well, I got second, bud.
That's what I'm saying.
Second place.
Yeah, so your second pick.
Second place, second pick. I am gonna go with Patrick Reed.
That's disgusting.
I don't hate it, drums. I respect it.
I'm looking for another T2 here. T2 King.
Patrick Reed.
Yeah,
You got 2? No, you
2
had
in a row,
T2
baby.
a week before.
2 in a row.
If I had
Who'd
yeah,
you pick?
last week?
Shane.
Yeah.
Shane Lowry.
Oh yeah.
Kyle's
Nice
brother,
work,
I think,
Drums.
right?
Kyle and
And Adam. Kyle and Adam and Shane are all brothers. 3 brothers. Dave's sons.
Who's that guy from Neepaw? Matt Lowry.
Matt Lowry, yeah.
you got Mike Lowry.
We did this 2
We go
shows
with
in a
Reggie.
row. You know, if I had like a foresight and like I got to see ahead on who won the tournament, and I found out that Patrick Reed won, I went back to Thursday and was able to bet on it, I still wouldn't bet on Patrick Reed.
Yeah, you're a sucker then. You're a loser.
I hate him. He's like the biggest loser on the face of the earth. Anyways,
Oh, he's not.
yeah, he is.
You don't even know the
Tommy-
man.
I'm going Tommy Fleetwood.
That was my second bet.
Tomith. Great name. Probably the best name in golf. There's a few
I
good
would
ones
say
like
so.
Harry Higgs, Sepp Straka, Tommy
Doc Redman.
Fleetwood, Doc
Tiger
Redman,
Woods.
unreal name. Tiger Woods, the best name ever, I would say. Well, I think we've talked about this before, but would Tiger have been Tiger if his name was Eldrick?
Yeah.
Do you think so? I don't.
Well, what are you talking? Like his overall,
If he went by Eldrick,
would he
Yeah,
be
yeah,
as good a
stardom.
player? Would he be as good a player?
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But would he be as big a
Think so?
star? Maybe not. That's probably a good point. Just the coolness
I-
of his name being Tiger.
I think being called Tiger would have like added internal confidence to him.
Yeah, probably.
For real. Names are an underrated part of life.
For what it's
If
worth,
you have a
I'm-
bad name, you got a bad start to
Like a
life.
boy named Sue.
Exactly like that.
I'm going on record and saying Rory's actually going to win this week, but I can't pick him every week. But so that's why I picked Tommy. But I think Rory's
do
actually
that.
going to win.
Can't do that. Okay, let's get to the whiskey here. So here's what I did. I have 2 whiskeys. One is Conor McGregor, whatever that one's called,
Upper 12.
proper 12. And then I have 40 Creek double barrel.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh, I
So
love that.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't know which one's which. I've marked them with little pieces of tape there, and they both are the exact same color. Cheers.
Thought you were gonna stone cold one.
Well, that was a little more than I wanted for sure.
Are we gonna get our first yak on the podcast?
Yeah, we better.
Can you
keep
imagine?
talking here. That was good, actually. That one's really good. Okay, let's move on a little bit, and then we'll take like a 5 minute. Or do I have to do it back to back? You think?
Well, I don't know. You don't
For
look
proper
good.
taste test, eh?
She don't look great. You feel great?
We're going off the rails, boys.
Oh no.
Okay. No, we're not. Dial it back in here. So let's do what was next on the agenda? Someone else is gonna have to take the reins here after the whiskeys.
The host.
So after we were going to get into our top motherfuckers of all
Coolest.
time. Coolest motherfuckers
Yes,
of all
right.
time. Okay,
Okay,
so how
we'll
do
do. We got 3 each, right? So we
okay,
got
3 each.
3 each. One has to be a golfer.
One has to be a golfer. So we'll
We'll
start
rotate.
each give our third. Who wants to go first?
I'll go. I'm hot.
Okay, you're hot.
Top, like, oh, we're giving our like our
Just
last
one.
place.
Yeah,
First?
it's your third place, coolest motherfucker.
Okay.
My first one is going to be the most obvious one. That's why he's not my third, but it's the most obvious one for me. And that is Kipp Moore. And lots of coolness about him. He's a very free-spirited guy. I look up to him in a lot of ways. He's a really good golfer. He used to be. Grew up on a golf course. His dad was a head pro at a golf course, so him and his brother would work on the course growing up. He's from Tifton, Georgia, and he surfs. He's a surfer. He's a rock climber, and he's a pretty damn good musician. And just epitome. Is it epitome or is it peak cool for me?
Both.
Someone who I aspire to be in terms of coolness and in in his lifestyle and his essence, I guess you'd call it. So Kipp Moore. And make some damn good music.
Some tunes. Okay, my number 3 is going to actually be my golfer. And this is going to be Lee Trevino.
Lee.
Oh,
Come on, Lee.
My entire life, every time you see that guy, he's got the biggest smile ever on his face.
True.
He is constantly chirping people. Just seems like he's always having a good time. He's either got a dart or a cigar in his mouth. Unbelievable golfer. He was a Marine. He got struck by lightning. He had like a back issues after that just kind of like hampered him the rest of his career, but he still was very successful. That's my 3. I kind of went a little bit off the board because I knew we were all going to. Yeah, we should say. What do you
That's right.
preface it? That we took Tiger off the board because he's all going to be on all of our lists, obviously.
Yeah, I've talked about it on here, but so when he was younger, like trying to make it on tour, they were all kind of on the Canadian tour, him, Wilf, and Stan. And Wilf helped him out, gave him some money to continue.
Yeah.
And he basically, I think he won a tournament shortly after Wilf gave him money. So every Christmas he sends Wilf like the most extravagant, like absolutely insane Christmas gifts every year.
Yeah, so like you hear cool stories about.
He was basically the one that kickstarted his career.
Guys like that, yeah, that's awesome.
That's like Dolphin ties, right? Like that's cool.
That's super cool. And he was in Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
He was a big part of Happy Gilmore, actually, like an underrated part of that movie.
Wesley Adams did have a beard.
My number 3 also happens to be from Happy Gilmore.
Oh.
Adam Sandler. I mean, that guy was basically my childhood. He created, arguably, with Happy Madison, the 6 funniest movies in my childhood. 7, maybe 8. I don't know. I actually originally had Tom Brady down, but I didn't want to go all sports because I wanted to go somebody off the board. And the first non-sport celebrity that I had was Adam Sandler. Like he's just seems like the coolest guy ever. And you never hear really any bad publicity about him. He's always just kind of wearing like college t-shirts and like all his movies and like in real life. Like he just seems like
he looks like a bum when you see him out.
Yeah, exactly. Just like
yeah, he does.
And he's worth like how many millions of dollars? He just still keeps being the same guy. And I think that's what's so cool. Like, you know, he never takes any like big stances on anything. He's kind of just flies along and makes movies. And, you know, I don't know. I admire that about him. And he's funniest guy ever, maybe in those movies, man. Like the Big Daddy, the Billy Madison, the Happy Gilmore, Waterboy. He's just so good. I don't know. I love that.
He's got some underrated movies too. And then he's got some trash though.
Yes,
yeah, he does have some trash.
No, man, not much trash though.
There's
like,
a bit
you could probably count them on one hand.
There's a bit of trash in there, but his good shit by far outweighs the trash.
Definitely.
Like even movies like Little Nicky.
Yeah,
I love Little Nicky.
Like there's so much, but it's not like a main. It's not like a mainstream movie. I don't think Little Nicky.
Right. What's like
it's more like
8 Crazy Nights.
Yeah. Did you guys what was the one with Andy Samberg? That's My Boy.
Yeah.
I think that's just a little underrated too. It's over the top and it's kind of on the edge of his shittiness, but I like that one too.
Don't mess with the Zohan. Like he's in a lot of movies that are actually really funny.
That one grew on me. I hated it.
Me too. First time I watched it, and then
And Deeds.
Mr. Deeds. Yeah.
Okay, am I up?
Yeah, you're back up.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take one more break here, and then I'll do my other whiskey. My next guy is actually an actor as well. You might know him from such movies as Training Day. And that's all you need to know. Remember the Titans?
Ethan Hawke.
Oh.
Oh.
Denzel Washington. I don't know. I've always just had like a guy crush on him. I don't know if you'd call it a guy crush, but just
man
like
crush.
Somebody who I always looked up to and like thought he was the man. And he's never been any, like, same as Adam Sandler kind of thing. He's never had any bad publicity. I've never heard anything in the Hollywood circles bad about him. He's always just kind of kept to himself and made his, kind of reminds me of like Sylvester Stallone, except in a bigger platform kind of thing. Like he has his own kind of movies and his keeps the same kind of I don't know. It's hard to explain.
He plays kind of, he doesn't play the same character, but you're right. He does have the same aura about him in every movie.
And so does Adam Sandler, actually. Like they're really true to themselves, and they're actors, but you can tell that there's a piece of them that's part of their personality in the movies. And yeah, I think I saw a good post about him the other day, was that he's completely sober now, and it's kind of changed his life, and he talks about sobriety and stuff like that. And I think that he probably had a couple bad years, or maybe more. I have no idea what kind of path he went. I'd like to know about it, but anyways, whoever to me who is willing to speak up about that and be kind of like a role model for people, I respect that. So always been a cool guy in my life and continues to be, has never let me down.
I also have like some appreciation for the people that like don't set out to be a role model. They just do their thing. And in that,
just be one.
what they're end
And
up.
that's exactly it, Drums. It's like there's people who example, and then there's people who like are paid by production, to say these things or act this way or show up to these events. But it's people who are actually just doing it because they believe and that's what's good and are genuine about it. That's who I am attracted to.
Yeah, and like he's one of the probably top 5 biggest actors in the world, but still he'll go do some off-Broadway play for 4 months just because he loves acting that much, and he's just so dialed into it. He's phenomenal.
And his movies are so good. Like all of his movies are so good. And every character that he plays in the movies is like a respectable kind of guy. And like, I don't know, hard to explain. It was honestly a choice between him and Matthew McConaughey. And I see those two as kind of two in the same, just with different kind of movies and stuff, but they're always the same. They're always really true to themselves. So anyways, I've talked enough.
I had him and Clooney as my top kind of actors in this too.
Who, McConaughey?
No, Denzel and Clooney. My number 2, I'm going to go with Richard Pryor. Don't even know if you guys are familiar with Richard Pryor, but no, perfect opportunity. So I'm a huge comedy fan. So like stand up, Richard Pryor is kind of the godfather to kind of what stand up is now. There were a few people before him that were like telling the truth, like in being vulgar and just being who you were. He wasn't like that in the beginning, and then realized, you know what, I can't live my life like that. And he was a wild boy. So like he had terrible battles with cocaine addiction.
I think a lot of those guys did.
Yeah, like their story, he set himself on fire and was running down the street. And then his next special, once he recovers, like that's his main topic is, I was running down the street and everybody was just watching this flame go by and shit like that. So like he could poke fun at himself. Came from absolutely nothing. He was born in a brothel. His grandma was she ran a whorehouse, and in that he was just like paraded around as the young kid, and then people were laughing at him because he would do shit to make money just at the whorehouse, and like that just birthed the greatest comedy mind ever. So if you get a chance, go check out some Richard Pryor stuff. Live on the Sunset Strip is probably one of the 1 or 2 best stand-up specials of all time.
Like on YouTube?
Yeah, I think most of that's on YouTube.
How do you spell Pryor?
Pryor.
YOR.
Once you see him, you'll kind of recognize him a bit.
So was there any comedians prior to him?
Ooh.
It's not funny. Okay.
Okay, cool. How old is he? Like, when did he die? What era
he
was
died? Maybe like early 90s, late 80s. But yeah, he was
prior to my life.
He was on a roll. Okay, give me your second. Get the fuck out of here.
Okay, my second is actually a guy that was in the spotlight basically his whole life, and to this day is panning out to be every bit of what everybody in the baseball world hoped he would become. And it's Vladdy Jr. The guy is just like a contagious, like you watch him on TV and it just makes you like, I don't know, man. He's just got a vibe to him that's like, you guys know what I'm talking about. He's just, you watch him on TV, he's out there smiling, he's patting guys on the ass, he's hugging guys. He's just fun. One of the most contagious guys ever to watch live on TV. Like, just puts you in a good mood when you watch him. And the best part about it is that he's playing for a Blue Jays team right now that is very good. And we get to watch him basically every game, which also adds to it. But like, he's 22 right now. He's 22 years old. Like, and he's basically the face of Canada in terms of baseball. Maybe the most popular athlete in Canada outside Austin Matthews and McDavid, maybe.
And it seems he's been around for a long time already, eh?
That's what I mean. Like, he's been in the spotlight for so long, and like, he's living up to every expectation. Like, they said how good of a hitter he's going to be, and he literally is that good of a hitter already.
He wasn't though for a couple of years though, eh?
But he was still so young and so, I don't know. He's just,
there's got to be some adjustment period getting into the show. Trying to hit like that.
He's hilarious to watch though. Hey?
Yeah, he just seems like an absolute beauty.
Just a goofball.
And like, he took it upon himself to lose some weight, get himself into a bit of shape so that he can actually do this for a long time too. So like, you got to respect that too.
And he switched to first base, knowing that that's what like, he wanted to play third bad, but they're basically like, go play first and just worry about hitting basically. And he's actually bought it and he's become a hell of a first baseman, but he's number two. I don't know. This is kind of just, I took that as like my favorite humans right now. Like, he's just such a cool guy. Like, he's my favorite athlete right now for sure. You know, so
it's hard to define cool though, because it's like
it's a personal thing.
You have to love them.
Mm-hmm.
You have to respect them, and they had to have like had some sort of good impact on your life. Like, what is cool anymore? Like, you'd say fawn, like the fawns with the leather jacket, long hair, like that's cool. But this is kind of like a different kind of cool, right? Like, I think, and if my perspective of cool, anyways, the guys that I'm talking about, they're cool, but like
the thing about him is like,
you know,
I think what makes him so cool is just that, like, or makes him so interesting is that I don't think that you would ever actually, even somebody like that's a huge Yankees fan or a huge Red Sox fan or somebody that doesn't like baseball, like, you'd never meet anyone, I don't think, that doesn't like him.
Yeah.
You know, he's just such a likable dude. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, like, not the biggest baseball fan at all here. And I'm well aware how sweet this guy is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool.
He's got a lot of years left too. So that's good.
Yeah, I'm actually shocked of how young he is. I honestly thought he was like 26.
He turns 23 this month.
Yeah, holy shit.
Good shit, eh, Maroki?
Okay, do that other shot then.
Before I do my next one, we'll do the shot. And then we'll see which one's best. Because they're both the exact same price. They're about $38 per 2.6.
Well, those are healthy.
Get it, boy.
Gave me heartburn looking at that.
Yeah, I got the shivers from that a bit too.
I think one was my favorite. Whoa, which is
Canadian Club.
Nope. Proper
Lucky
12.
Star. Lucky Star.
Seagram's 83.
This one had more of like a smoky taste to it, which I'm not a huge fan of.
Yeah, it does.
Pretty good though. Anyways, that's what you get for losing. Sucks to suck. So my third pick is the golf one. Saved it for last because we haven't talked a whole lot about this as a company, I guess. But as King Golf, we had the Dauphin Kings, we had the Brandon Wheat Kings, which kind of tied me and Rigo's geographical locations together into one golf company, and also the King himself, Arnold Palmer was a huge inspiration to the company, because all of our stuff kind of has been, I mean, high standard and also like nothing flashy. He was always just a really classy guy. So all of our stuff is just kind of like classy and simple and plain, but like nice.
Nice.
You know, he would always have. He never had anything real extravagant like John Daly or someone like that. He just looked really good, and I'm sure he was like, if you polled women from the last 100 years of like who their favorite golfer was and who the best looking golfer was, it would be Arnie in his prime. And I think that he brought so many. He was a good looking guy, like really good looking guy. Yeah. And just ripped too. Like he was built, really built. But he was kind of like the Tiger Woods of 30 years before that. Like he brought a ton of people into golf. He actually like helped start the Golf Channel, I believe. If he didn't do it himself, he was definitely part of it, the Golf Channel. The one thing I would change about him is his brand, like the umbrella. I don't really like the branding of the Arnold Palmer. It's like kind of cheesy almost.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how much of a say he would have had in that either. So if you look at pictures of Arnie in his prime, like he's
ripped.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And he would bring, he brought the fans. Like Jack was probably a better overall golfer than Arnie was. But Arnie brought the fans to the course, and especially the babes. So it was kind of cool to see it. We didn't get to see him in his prime. We got to see him as an older guy, but even so, like he reminded me of like he kind of looked like Grandpa Hal in a sense when he was older. So he would always remind me of him, and that's who I kind of thought of him as. So that's definitely my pick.
So that's your coolest motherfucker of all time? Or were you just doing them like just here's three?
Yeah, I just have three.
Okay.
It would probably be, I don't know. If I were to rank them, it would probably be Kipp, Arnie, and then Denzel.
Still a solid.
And I had a few honorable mentions in there, but I knew the Drums was going to pick one for sure, and for good reason. I can guess who it is.
Sir Francis Albert, Old Blue Eyes, Frank Sinatra is the coolest motherfucker that has ever existed.
I figured you'd have somebody old like that, but I
thought you were going to say
JT. You'd have Snoop.
No, he's Snoop? In my top 10. He's in my top 10.
I thought Justin Timberlake, to be honest.
I don't even know if JT be in my top 10.
No.
Frank Sinatra, hands down. Not a question. The Rat Pack era, you had to wear a suit. You had to look amazing. He slept with every woman in Hollywood. There's the mafia ties. He could sing. He was actually a pretty decent actor. Big kind of connection with my grandparents and his music. So that's kind of where I first fell in love with him. And then just through, I don't know, my love for his music led me to where like the rest of his story. So like, then I'm huge into Mafia. So the Mafia connection with him. And then there's the JFK connection with him. It's he lived a very interesting life. So
what's his connection to JFK?
So Frank advocated for the mob to help get JFK elected in certain states. So he was the go-between between the mob and JFK.
JFK had to be in that conversation too for coolest of all time.
He's in my top 5. Yeah. But yeah, Frank Sinatra, hands down for me.
Was there not a story that came out a couple months ago about Sinatra? I know it was is it Dean Martin was the other guy in there?
Yeah.
Did they actually they started the beer cart on golf courses? Because
that would be Dean.
Was it Sammy? Who's the other guy?
Sammy Davis, but they were big friends with Sammy Snead. And
that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah,
it would probably be here regardless, but it's still cool that they started it.
Dean Martin was a raging alcoholic, but he's a beauty. He's a beauty too. I don't know. I love all that old shit though. Love it.
Much different time, better time in my opinion.
A little simpler.
But yeah. Reggie, who we running out with here?
I'm kind of disappointed actually, but it is what it is.
What do you mean?
I shouldn't have left him to last. I think that,
no. I'd said that's why I went 3, 2, 1.
Right.
So is this your one, or is this just?
It's the one I left till last. I would say I told you the notable that I left off was Tom Brady. I would say he's the coolest guy, the most marketable guy, the most popular, just the coolest guy ever. I would say is Tom Brady.
Half the world hates him.
He can do it all. Yeah, but they shouldn't.
Because of Trump shit.
Well, they hate him because he's good.
So, Tom Brady, but I guess the ties and just it's cool how he's made a living of basically proving people wrong, and it's golf, and he's 4th on the all-time money list with $71.5 million. Turned pro in 1988. Who do you guys think it is?
Where is he on the money list? Sorry, 7th? Fourth. Davis Love?
No.
In 88? So he would have been around the time.
Freddie Couples, baby.
No, this is the guy that
boom
shut a lot of people up over the years and just wrote out what he has.
Phil.
No. Jim Furyk.
He's 4th all time. Dang.
Imagine how many times in his life somebody was like, that's the goofiest swing ever. Like, you're never going to be able to do anything like that. And he's 4th all time in golf. Like, that's so cool to me. He just wrote it out. He just trusted that swing worked. He didn't give a shit what people thought. He still has it to today. Like, that to me is like, with the media pressure, the everything, like, he just wrote it out. He doesn't give a shit. That's his swing. That's the Jim Furyk. He doesn't care. That to me is like so mentally strong, man. Like, and I obviously, like, I can relate to that. I mean,
yeah,
I wish I would have thought about it 10 years ago, but whatever, can't go back. But yeah, I think it's just so cool that, like, just how many times you would have been told, like, man, your swing is like terrible. Like, look at how stupid you look. And he's 4th. Like, he's made $71.5 million from doing it just in tournament money alone. Like, that's cool to me.
That's unreal.
That's kind of the theme, I would say, is that's cool to me. Cause, like, I mean, we had a pretty wide ranging list of who we consider to be cool. And I mean, it's wild. Like, Jim Furyk probably wouldn't crack my 1,000, maybe 10,000, but that's who is cool to you. And that's why
I don't actually think he's that. I think his story's cool. No, I don't think he's cool.
No, you're exactly right though. Like, that's cool to you. Like, somebody you respect and look up to, and, you know, would consider like a role model type thing.
Do you think this though? I thought about it. So Jim Furyk never really had social media. He never really had the media. He never really had any of that to contend with. Do you think that that's playing a factor in Wolf's game right now?
I do.
In terms of what? People changing their swings to...
how shitty. No.
Yeah, like if he's online at all, he's gonna get shitty comments thrown his way. Like, there's no way about it. That's just the way the fucking world is now, and it is what it is. But you're right. Like, there's a lot of similarities there. Like, both still phenomenal golfers. Sure, their swing's wacky. I think that's more endearing to the person. But, like, he's already been pretty open with mental health struggles. And
Furyk,
if you try to hop on one, like, all you would have to do is try to hop on your social media, and you would see some kind of shitty comment about you. It
do you think that would be related to his swing though? Because I think that's like a unique feature of his. Like, people almost try to imitate now. Like, I don't know that would be the cause of his mental health issues.
Well, I don't think it's the sole cause, but I imagine, like, there's a part of the social media that's affecting his game associated with his swing. I would bet money on
it.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, which sucks because I love the guy.
You know, as we were sitting here talking, like, two guys that are like NHL all-time beauties for me is Fleury, Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah.
and Roberto Luongo. I think those two are just like the sickest guys, man.
What
Fleury's
about
got
Ovi?
Yeah,
Ovi's
with
getting
goalies?
absolutely shit on right
Roasted
now
right now.
because of like
nothing.
Russia. Like, what is going on with this world, man?
Well,
What
it's
is
because he's kind of like pledged allegiance to Pootsy here in the past. But like, what do you want the guy to
what
do?
are you supposed to do?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
he's gonna threaten to kill your family and shit. Like, yeah.
Ovi.
Like, what do you
Pathetic.
want?
It is
I don't know
actually
what
pathetic.
I don't know what the reporter wants him to say. Like, yeah, fuck
Yeah.
Ukraine. Like, what do you think he's gonna say?
Yeah,
It's absolutely pathetic.
or shoot down his own country. Like, yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, like, what do you want? He's not gonna win at all. In this
That's tough.
situation.
But yeah, they shouldn't have even interviewed him. It's not fair to him. He's not, like he said, he's not a politician. Like, that's not what he gets paid to
Absolutely
do.
irrelevant.
And I mean,
Yeah.
like, yeah, he's got pictures with him, but he would have like got invited to some event that Putin's there, like the hockey tournament or whatever the type of shit that he puts on. Like, it's unavoidable.
Well, here's the thing. You should be proud of your country and you should be proud of your prime minister or president, unless that man is Justin Trudeau.
Hey,
That's the
okay, cut this out. But
yeah.
did you see the one tweet that said if I think it was Spit and Chicklets, maybe, I don't know who it was for sure, but if they want to take Putin out, all they got to do is put down a red carpet. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
He's just clipping along and trips on the red carpet.
Do you think
then
that guy
when-
lived?
Yeah, when they
rolled the
originally
carpet
happened,
out?
they're like, well, the carpet guy's dead. So
Yeah.
I remember watching that. That's like back when I used to hate Putin.
yeah.
I was like, oh, that's good. He deserves that.
Do you remember? Do you remember the singer for the Canucks whiffing it on that carpet
Yes.
too, mid song?
That's probably one of the greatest clips of all time.
Oh,
And that guy
God,
used
I'm
to
gonna
be
watch
like
that tonight.
400 bills.
Yeah. He skates
Okay.
around and trips on it.
Here's the thing. I think we're almost at an hour already. Maybe not. So we're going to cut the questions for tonight.
Yeah, we're at an hour.
We're going to save those for another time. We're going to get to segments. Who wants to go first?
I can
First
go.
tonight, I don't think I have for a while.
Yeah, Rigo, you go.
You go.
How are we
Strokes
saving
saver.
strokes tonight? Oh,
This is
Whiskey
like
catching
a more methodical way. Something that you probably would never think of if I didn't say this, and that's something that I've never really thought of. But so say that I'm just going to use Dal. I'm going to pick on Dal for an example. Shouldn't, but will. Actually, no. You know what? I'm going to pick on myself. So number 2, at Gilbert
Dal could handle
for a long time. Number 2 at Gilbert, I would go in the left trees. I would try to hit a cut, and I would set up, say even on the right hand side of the tee box or the middle of the tee box. I would never really think about where I was setting up on the tee box. Okay. I would always just miss in the left trees. And then I read a tip online one day, and I refreshed me when I was reading some stuff the other day that where you position your tee on any given hole is so important. Like, so for example, I knew I was going to hit a cut on that hole, and the trouble for me was on the left-hand side. So I started teeing up on the far left-hand side of the tee box, knowing I was going to hit a cut, and it opens up probably 40 more yards that I can start it and cut it.
mm-hmm.
Whereas
Like
if I
your
started
view.
whereas if I started on the right-hand side of the tee box, if I'm aiming, like there's trees on the right-hand side of the tee box. I can't go on there. But if you go, even it's 10 yards to the left and you go on the left-hand side of the tee box, it opens up so much for your mindset. It is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know the last time that I missed left on that hole for that reason. And I do that on a few different holes there. So the same could be said for Dal. So if he hits his slice and he's teeing up on the left-hand side of the tee box, that doesn't even make any sense, right? On certain holes, I guess. It's all dependent on the hole. But if you can move the ball 10 yards over on the tee box to give yourself 50 more yards of view, why wouldn't you do that? You're not cheating. You're just using the tee box to your advantage.
So in that situation, there's bush on the right, like your immediate right?
Yeah.
So if you're aiming from the right side, obviously that's right in your way of hitting a cut, which for you is a lefty. That bush is right in your way. Even if you're in the middle, it's still a nuisance to you.
Right.
But if you're on the left side of the tee box, that's almost out of your sight.
Completely.
Yeah.
And you can pick an aiming point farther right that you wouldn't have on the other side of the tee box. And it just opens everything up. Like,
how would a guy who doesn't really golf a whole lot and listens to the show, like they might not know, would you stand behind the tee and like try to figure out what the best view is, or like
so
what
they
would
would
be the tip for
I would
like,
say that
for them to do it without experience?
I would say for that 10 to 25 handicap, like they have the same shot. They don't work it both ways. They have the exact same shot off every tee. So they know what they're going to do. So go to the side of the tee box that basically fits your eye the best and gives the most room for you to start it on the right-hand side of the fairway and move it in. Like drums, for example, like number 3, I don't know, Gilbert might be a bad course to use. Let's say number 2 at Weed City. So it's a dog leg right?
Yep.
So if you're always going to move the ball right to left, always.
Yep.
So if you're teeing up on the right-hand side of that hole, you're already starting it at the tree line and you're going to hit your right to left shot, and then you're going to go right across the fairway.
Yep.
Whereas if you go across to the other side of the tee box, you can aim at the left or at the right corner knowing it's going to draw in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas if you're starting on the right, and it seems like it would be nothing, but when you actually step on the right-hand side of the tee box as opposed to the left, it's like a totally different view.
Well, and even just mentally too.
Right. 100%.
Yeah.
Mentally is probably the biggest thing. Hey?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not feeling like restricted for where your shot, like the shape of your shot, how it's got to go. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because even though you're moving at 5 yards, if it feels like 50 yards, then that's a mental thing. Because it's clearly, like, I mean, just the
But it does open up quite a bit, though.
Right. It's a good one, Rigo. I'm a fan. I'm your biggest fan, as Leroy would say in Grandview. Okay, I'll go drums because you never go last. You're going last tonight, sucker.
All right.
Okay, so tonight on Two Pina Coladas. As a reminder, this segment is helping you escape the system.
Poverty.
The Pina Colada song. Not poverty. Hopefully there's not anybody in poverty listening to this, but you never know. I'm not far off myself.
We're all coming along there.
Everybody in Canada is on the poverty line, especially if you have Canadian dollars. Anyways, tonight's segment is about it's called the Shareable Economy. Okay. So this is part of Bitcoin, part of other things as well. Bitcoin is not as the same as other cryptocurrencies, but we're going to lump everything together here. So a shareable economy, a decentralized world. That's what we're moving into, in my opinion. So think of this as the new version of word of mouth. So, word of mouth, we've always been taught is the most effective way of marketing. Except with this, you get paid to do it. Okay? Because in the past, I would go to Rigo, I would say, man, I had a really good burger at Original Joe's. So that's word of mouth. Rigo's going to go try it next week. He's in town. But in the shareable economy that we're in now, with the technology that we have, I'll actually say, hey, Rigo, I just had this burger at Original Joe's. Here's a link. Go there. You'll get 10% off or 15% off. And I get a portion too, because they're able to turn it into micro payments. Like the technology that they can have micro payments. The smart contract within the cryptocurrency will actually send me a payment. We'll give Rigo 10% off all at once. So basically in the future is you're going to be sending people links so that they can save on things and you get a kickback. And that's how a lot of companies will be doing their advertising now. Because if you think back, we had the radio, we had television. Now we have big tech, which is like Facebook, Instagram. They're all kind of like centralized platforms, right? So if you're a company, you're going to obviously advertise with TV because it's the only platform that has like that kind of thing. But now it's so decentralized that like you don't know where to put your marketing money. You can't put it on TV or the radio or the Super Bowl, or I mean, you can't do everything. There's just so much. So they're reliant on us to share information, and that's where the marketing budget is going to go, to people who are sharing it. So for example, I'm thinking like in 2 years, maybe less, there'll be like a McDonald's coin. And so if I send Drums a link to go get a Big Mac, he uses it, we'll each earn a bit of like McDonald's coin. And so then I can either use that at McDonald's, or I can use one of the exchanges to convert that into Bitcoin or whatever the currency is at that time. Right? So it's something to think about when you're moving ahead in this sci-fi world, I guess, as some people call it, is like, try to do those things because it's so easy to do. And it's like, why wouldn't you do it? So 2 examples that I have. I mean, I would guess, we might look back on this in a couple of years. I would guess in a couple of years that we're actually gonna have a King golf coin, or like a King coin. And we'll actually put it out there. So if you refer us to somebody to buy a head cover, we'll send you like a King coin or something. Then you can use that King coin to buy merchandise from us or exchange it on an exchange for Bitcoin, right? It's wild, but that's what the technology allows for because of smart contracts built into these platforms and technology. So I'm going to give you 2 here. And if you're not into this stuff, or if you are and aren't set up on these 2 exchanges yet, send me a message on Twitter or Instagram or anything, and I'll send you the link, and then we'll each earn $50. That's what it is. So if you utilize both of these, you're going to earn $55. So one
Canadian?
is Newton. What's that?
Canadian?
Yeah.
Canadian, yes. So the first one is Newton, which I talked about last week. It's actually a Canadian exchange, and it's easy. It's the easiest platform I've ever used to buy Bitcoin. You just basically set up Newton as like a payee, almost like in your online banking. So you send them $100, and then we each get $25. The second one is called ShakePay, which is also a Canadian company. This one's super cool. So it's an app, and basically every day, all you do is you open up your ShakePay app and you shake your phone. And you get like 120, or today I got 200 Satoshis, which is like 8 cents worth of Bitcoin. But all I had to do is shake my phone for it. And I was thinking, like, if I do this every day, but the more you accumulate, like if you get on a streak, it starts multiplying and shit. So I was thinking, if I do
bad
this,
habits.
exactly. So I was thinking, if I do this for like 5 years, like how much Bitcoin will I've earned just for shaking my phone? Like a lot, especially if Bitcoin goes up in price. And it's the same as like Brave browser. Even if you're earning $5 a month, like in 5 years from now, you're going to have thousands of dollars just for using the internet.
That's wild.
It's wild. So ShakePay, same thing. It's an exchange, so you can send them $100. They'll give you, and then you can buy Bitcoin with it. It's super easy to do. Both of these exchanges are really easy to use, which is why I like them. So if you put in, you have to buy $100 worth of Bitcoin, I think, to earn it. But if you utilize both those links, we each earn $50, which is so easy. It's like the easiest $50 you'll ever make in your life. And that's it. So it's something to consider in the future. Shareable economy, it's where we're moving to. Just start getting used to it, because it's the way things are going, whether you want it or not. But it's so good. It's how the world should be.
Like there is a similarity to like skip the dishes when you sign up, and you can tell 5 friends about it and you get skip points, right?
Yep.
But you actually get this in a currency.
But this is like, yeah, it is the same thing, but it will be in a currency, exactly, right, instead of dollars. Or like, if you think about it, like, or points. 10 years ago, if you referred somebody to like a store, like they would have to have like a list of like, okay, Jordan referred this guy. It'd be like on paper or something. And then they'd have to send you like a referral check, and they'd have to make sure that, you couldn't do it from across the world either. Like literally I could send somebody this link in freaking Cuba tomorrow, and then I would earn $25. No bank account necessary, nothing.
Crazy.
And there will be a skip the dishes for sure. There'll be a skip coin or something like that, and you earn skip coins for referring. And
well, I mean, you
actually
already have that. Like it's
right.
Skip points, really the same thing as them having their own currency.
But you can't really change that.
But you can't transfer it and make it
Correct.
Bitcoin or whatever. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was kind of limiting, but
fucking wild.
So there you go. If you're interested in that, even if you already own Bitcoin, just get set up on these exchanges because you get $50 worth of free Bitcoin, which will be worth a lot of money someday. Drums, what's on the corner tonight, baby?
Hey, I'm going to wrap this one up. I'm going to be kind of quick here just because there's not a lot to dive into. But have you guys ever watched any of the TSN original documentaries?
Yeah,
I kind of happened across it. I don't even know if it was like the same. Like it was on TV anyways. I walked out of, I think it was in the shower, came out and it was on TV. But it's basically like E60 or 30 for 30, but with more Canadian content, right? So I caught a couple unreal stories last night. But kind of some of the topics that they have in these that they cover. Nick Patan. Did you guys know his family story at all? His dad committed suicide while he was in the past couple of years, so like still in the league, and kind of their struggles with that, but going back into his dad's struggles with mental health issues and stuff like that. So good topics like that. And then the crazy one that I that sat me down to watch it was this lineman from Quebec that plays for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Doctor?
Yeah. So he graduated med school, then got drafted, won the Super Bowl, and then 4 months later, he's working ER rooms in Quebec, helping with the COVID fight.
Mm-hmm.
He gave up the entire 2020 season.
Yeah, to go back and work.
To go back and do the medical work. Now, we're not getting into the COVID stuff, blah, 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 but I love when a celebrity, pronounce that weird, but instead of them like talking shit to you, they just go do it, right? Like, show your support for this. Okay, but what the fuck are you doing? Or let's sing Imagine so we can all be friends. I don't know what the fuck that point was of that, but for somebody to take it upon himself, knowing I have the capabilities to go and make a difference in a situation like this, and just going and doing it it's pretty unbelievable.
No matter your beliefs on the whole situation, if his belief was on COVID was a scary thing, he quit his NFL career making millions to go save people's lives, which is badass.
Like, right, that's like, so badass. That's so,
and it's putting his money where his mouth is. He's not
putting your money where your mouth is.
He's not going on his platform saying you should do this. He did it, and maybe didn't get the attention it deserved. It didn't. Honestly, probably didn't.
He did win the Lou Marsh Award last year, which is the top Canadian athlete of the year. But again, like super under the rug. Like when it's Crosby or somebody like that, that's usually winning these things. It's headline news. And with like, I honestly don't know how I didn't know this story. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But no, so super kind of cool stories with Canadian content. It had that kid from Cross Lake, Brady Keeper, yeah. Yeah, it has his story and stuff like that. They're usually presented by that Rick Westhead, who does phenomenal work. He was the one that did all the stuff for the Kyle Beach story. That guy just kills it nonstop for TSN, and like you never hear about him.
Did he do the Humboldt stuff too? Maybe.
Yeah. So there's a Humboldt. I don't know if they're clips or sections. I think they're only like 15-minute segments, I guess, for each topic. But there's a Humboldt topic too. Like it's good. It's awesome, and it's TSN. I think we're all in agreement that TSN is number one in Canada. Do you have
superior over Sportsnet?
Yeah. Do you have buddies that are Sportsnet
that are fans of them?
Yeah.
If I do, they're not buddies anymore.
I don't know anybody that's more Sportsnet. So there we go. Yeah. We're showing our allegiance again.
It's pros versus amateurs.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't want to cut you off there, Drums, but when you said that about putting your money where your mouth is, it's like you see all these celebrities, they wear their masks to a thing, and then as soon as the camera's off, they take it off.
Yeah.
Or they give something in their acceptance speech about this, or they, talk about climate change, but then they hop on their private jet, which burns 10,000 times the amount of energy that I'll ever burn in my entire life.
Right.
like I have zero respect for those type of people, but guys like that,
Agreed.
absolutely. And they don't do it. He didn't do it for the fame. You're right. He did it because it's what he believed in, and that's very respectable for me. That's cool. Sorry, my headphones died. What was that guy's name?
It's a French name, and I didn't even write it down because I'll never pronounce it correctly.
He's Canadian though, right?
Yeah, Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're Quebec kid, graduated from McGill. Yeah.
Cool story.
Yeah.
So, but can you watch those like on streaming or?
Sorry, I like I said, I caught it on TV, so it was on TSN2 or whatever.
I think that there are somewhere like online, like on TSN maybe or something.
I did check before, and they are on TSN. And there's no paywall or whatever. You know how like they restrict, even if you have TSN and you log into TSN and you can't watch a Jets game. I hate that shit.
Yeah.
But
okay, well, let's wrap it.
Okay, we're out of here for another week. If you guys continue to listen, we will continue to put these out. Even if you don't, I'm sure we'll keep this as a time waster. But anyways, please continue to listen. Please continue to support. As George said earlier, check out the YouTube channel if you do want to see our ugly mugs. For that, we'll peace out of here for this week. Love you, boys. Later.